Hey friends, it is great to be with you. Glenn and Ben here from Good Movie Monday. And in the lead up to Monster Fest, we are presenting a series of videos where we're going to be chatting with some of the creators behind the films on the official program. Let's not waste any time, jump straight into it. G'day Ben, how are you? Would you like to introduce our guests?
Thanks, mate. I'm great. So without further ado, let me introduce the filmmakers behind the found footage phenomenon, Sarah Appleton and Phil Escott. Sarah, Phil, welcome to the show.
Hi, thanks so much for having us.
Now, for those poor unfortunate souls who haven't ravenously devoured the Monster Fest program, what is the found footage phenomena about?
The found footage phenomenon is a documentary / love letter to a much maligned documentary, which is the found footage subgenre.
Now, this is it is a super interesting topic that I wasn't prepared to find as interesting as I did, and you've scored some amazing interviews. Like, you seem to have touched all of the kind of tentpole found footage horror films. You've got the guys from Blair Witch Project, Paranormal Activity. You got Andre Overdahl in there, James Cullen Bressack, who's been a guest at Monster Fest back in the day, and you've got the Godfather of found footage in Ruggero Deodato. You also managed to get one of my favorite people in the whole world, fellow Melburnian Alexandra Helen Nicholas, in there, which is fantastic. How did you manage to get all these people from all these different countries in this? How did you manage this?
Well, part of me thinks that maybe we filmed it in the lockdown, so maybe that had part to do with it. Like, no one had anything to do, so they wanted to be in our film. But generally, I think, from our backgrounds working in distribution and stuff, we're quite used to being able to go out and reach people. And I don't know, when you have, Alex was a big help, actually. She put us in touch with Michael Goy, and that was, for me, one of the best interviews, but, maybe not you guys.
No, it was great.
Ben, I think that's how we got all of our guests too. Everyone was in lockdown.
Yeah, that's right.
Nothing better to do.
It may have done terrible things to the world economy, but it's done great things for podcasts everywhere. It's been amazing, and documentaries. Now, before we got you on the show, we did ask you to come up with 5 films that either inspired you to become filmmakers, inspired you to make this film, or just films that you really love. So please hit us with number 1.
Okay, for me, it's the granddaddy of the zombie genre. It's Romero's Dawn of the Dead.
What a classic. Have you picked up the fancy new box set, the 4K thing with the...
I worked on it, luckily, so yes, I was very much involved. So,
oh, right, you did. That's right.
It was a passion project, yeah, so I was lucky enough to have some involvement in that.
I keep forgetting that I've actually spoken to you before over the internet, because you make extra features and I release DVDs, and our paths have crossed. And you actually have worked with Jarrett Garn, who is one of the team at Good Movie Monday, and also a co-worker at Monster Pictures.
I do, and my 5th recommendation will cross paths with you guys again. So, to be continued.
How interesting that you've picked that film, because that franchise sort of dived into the found footage stuff with was it the 5th film, Diary of the Dead?
Yeah.
Diary of the Dead.
Diary, yeah. So Romero dabbled in the genre as well, but I was already a big fan of his work by then. So he was one of the people who actually convinced me that found footage was actually a worthy genre.
Yeah, right. All right. Number 4.
Number 4?
Or number 2.
Wait.
For 1 second, I thought we were counting back.
Are we ranking them? I didn't know that.
No. It's just. Yeah.
It's like non-linear. We'll skip the end, then we'll go to the middle, then we'll go to the beginning, then towards the end again.
Yeah. It's like when they reveal the questions in the quiz shows, and they
want to
answer 5 questions, and then they just let's see what you did with number 3, just to keep the tensions high.
You are the Steve Harvey of Good Movie Monday, mate.
That's not the first time. That's not the first time that's been said.
But how do you guys want to do it? Do you want to do me do my
Yeah, we
five,
take
then
it in turns.
five,
Or is it
Oh yeah,
like...
we can. Have you both got 5?
Yeah,
so
sorry.
yeah,
Well, we
okay.
meant to
No,
choose
let's
go,
joint
let's do it.
5.
Yeah,
Perfect.
let's do it. Okay, yeah, no, that's fine.
Sorry.
Sorry, no,
We
not a problem at all.
I'll trim mine down. That's fine.
No.
3.
No, not at all. Okay, so what's your number 1?
Well, I sort of touched on it, but Megan is Missing was basically one of the first found footage films that made me really love the genre, just like how, because at the time in 2011 when I saw it, I felt like it was so shocking, and back then I just wanted to see basically everything that was shocking, like the most shocking things that existed. I wanted to see them all, and that one really, I never want to see it again. I watched it that one time, didn't watch it again. Actually going through it to pick clips out for the film was quite hard, because there was parts I really didn't want to see again, and I was like, oh, I have to avoid that bit. But that's definitely one that if you haven't seen it, you should see it, but maybe not if you're of a nervous disposition.
I did warn you two. I haven't said anything to the listeners, but I have seen the film. Glenn hasn't. So if he's sitting there looking like a stunned mullet, it's because he doesn't know what we're talking about. But Megan is Missing does feature quite prominently in the doco. And there's some great stories with that guy. Is he being threatened and stuff, and having stalked by fanboys and
yeah, he's sort of like a Hollywood director of photography. He films like American Horror Story and all this huge projects, but then he made Megan is Missing, like he directed that as his sort of first directorial job. And I mean, it was obviously a passion project for him, and it's quite funny. Like, it's good that he can take it on the chin now, but people really didn't respond to it very well, because if you didn't know where it was coming from, that's why we include this whole story about where it comes from. If you don't know, I guess you can think it could maybe come across as a bit exploitational, like in a bad way. But I don't know. I don't
know what that means. I don't know exploitational in a bad way. No.
We've all seen your Facebook, Ben.
Yeah, no. Don't go look at my Facebook. Don't do it. I think my boss at one point, actually did get a note from one of the guys at Raven Banner in Canada, sales in Canada, going, "What is wrong with Ben? Like, is he serious?" I was like, "Oh, okay. I forgot." At one point I had 2 separate Facebook accounts and I merged them. Big mistake.
Sounds like my inbox at Good Movie Monday.
Yeah, that's it. All right. Okay. Number 2.
For me, it's Cronenberg's The Fly, which was like literally just one of those films that blew my mind, even at a young age, just to show the practicality of the effects and how he can do so much in camera. It just blew my tiny little mind, and still does today, but more so as a love story. Yeah. I find it very emotional.
I was going to say, there's nothing about the special effects in that have aged. Like, they're still amazing. Although I have to say, it still does make me want to go to bars and arm wrestle dudes.
Yeah, I'm sweaty, so I was hoping like I could melt through some dude's hands. Yeah. That was always a fantasy.
A couple of years ago on the show, we did like the greatest love stories in cinema, and Jarrett brought up The Fly. That's like his most devastating love story.
Mm-hmm. It is. I saw it for the first time on a big screen in a film festival a few years back, and I cried at the end like a little baby. It was just, it hit me in a way it hadn't.
I'm not sure that's something you're supposed to admit.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, no, I just said fuck this film.
Yeah. And I argue that the film should be always played in a double feature with Earth Girls A Reason, but I haven't found many people who agree with me. I'm like, it's the perfect date. Yeah. It's the perfect date double feature. No.
Facebook thing again, Ben. That's Facebook
thing. Okay, Sarah, what's your number 2?
Okay, so I picked The Ring because it really massively traumatized me when I was 10, and I think that it's probably always going to be one of those early films that sort of, in a way, the traumatic experience was part responsible for my life choices. So I feel like I have to pick that, but also because like she literally finds a tape in it, and it's not a found footage film, but I feel I quite like the connection.
Did you see the original or remake first when you were younger?
Oh, first I saw the remake, when I was 10, the American one, and it scared the shit out of me.
Awesome.
Because I think I saw Ring and Ring Zero or Ring O or whatever it is.
Yeah.
I saw them both at Myth when they came out, and then straight after that I saw Takeshi Miike's The Audition, and that movie freaked me out so much that I haven't been able to go back and watch either or all of those films.
It's true. It was like a new kind of horror that like we just haven't imagined before, I guess. And like The Grudge as well, really. Even watching The Grudge 2, the remake, the American one, it still scares me now. And nothing scares me, so it must be good.
Yeah, that J-horror boom was amazing. I think Cairo and Dark Water. Cairo.
Dark Water, amazing.
Yeah, they blew my balls off. They're amazing.
Yeah, definitely. All right, number 3.
For me, it is The Crow. Alex Proyas's introduction to Hollywood. It was the first film I actually watched twice. I remember renting it from the video store, watching it, my world changing, and then just rewinding it and watching it all over again. It's the first film I ever done that. And yeah, that's what I figured. I was a big film fan.
Yeah. Well, I remember not watching it for ages until I had 4 friends. They physically dragged me to Valhalla to watch it at like 2:00 in the morning. I was like, what? And then like absolutely loving it. But I also think it features is it? I can never remember his name. It's Michael Wincott or Jeff.
Yeah,
it's Michael Wincott.
Michael Wincott.
Wincott.
Jeff Wincott's the martial arts.
The martial arts one. That's that's right. But Michael Wincott, who I always loved from Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, but he gives the greatest synopsis of the film ever in the film when he just does that.
Bang, fuck, I'm
Like
dead.
he does and you're like, this is that's the mark. That's all you need for the trailer is just that bit of him explaining the whole film for you.
There's a small chance that Alex may watch this video, and this will be kind of sacrilegious. But what do you think of part 2? Because I kind of have always said that that's one of these sort of underrated, sort of punkish kind of films that no one really gives respect.
Yeah, well, I enjoyed it. I mean, the Deftones absolutely smash it on the soundtrack, so I'm a big Deftones fan. So put them in a movie, I'm going to like the movie just purely because they're in it. And I think it's one of those films where the story behind it is going to be more interesting than the film will ever be now, just because of all the drama that went into making it, all the stuff that the studio put the director through and all that stuff. It's going to be one of those great sort of cursed movies, if you will, because it didn't stand a chance from the get-go. And yeah, I enjoy it for what it is, but it doesn't hold up to the original.
No.
Yeah. Is it the second or the third one that Kirsten Dunst is in?
That's the third one.
That's the third one.
The third one, Stairway to Heaven or something? Is that what it is?
And then Edward Furlong is in the fourth one.
Fourth one.
Yeah,
Shocker.
Macy Gray.
Yeah.
Dennis Hopper.
That's right.
Amazing. Okay, Sarah, what's your third one?
Well, since Phil isn't picking any actual found footage films, I think I'll go with The Last Broadcast, mainly because when I first saw it, it was a long, long time ago, and then I watched it again, and I think that actually you kind of have to watch it twice just to understand what you're looking at, which is quite good with some horror films, but I personally like it because it's like playing with this whole idea of the media and what's real and what's fake and what you're being told and everything like that. And it's actually kind of less of a horror film and more of a sort of true crime and sort of a I don't know, asking you to question yourself. And that's why I like it anyway. And I think that if anyone's, and also obviously because it came out in 1998, so if anyone, loves the Blair Witch and thinks that's the first found footage film, maybe you should check out The Last Broadcast.
I love it too, and it ties really well into the point that that Diodato makes in the doco when he talks about where he got the kind of idea for Last Cannibal World and Cannibal Holocaust, in that, you know, it's because the newsmen can do whatever they want. They show whatever they want. There's no censorship. No.
Nothing. It's definitely a heavy theme in a lot of fan footage films, actually, and I guess that's probably why I like it. But yeah, just question what you're seeing, basically. That's if you had to summarize fan footage films in general, I think you can just say that, you know, they're designed to make you question what you're watching.
Yeah, I wish I could. I can't remember the name of the film, but it was a gang movie where these kids were filming themselves doing like drive-bys and stuff, or riding around on bikes and shooting people in cars. And I was working at a video store at the time. And there you go, Glenn. You can have a drink. It's every time I mention working in a video store, Glenn gets to take a shot. But we had people come back in disgust, going, "You should be renting this. Like, this is real. Like 100% dead serious that they thought they were watching like news footage of like real deaths, of real shootings."
I think it's partially like people want it to be real, because there's been so many films where people have been like, "Oh my god, that's real," and then it's not real. You'd think that people would learn by now that basically nothing is real, but they haven't. And I think it's just because you want it to be real. We want to see some real nasty shit.
I mean, I was crushed when I found out the Never Ending Story wasn't real. Like, that really, really upset me.
Yeah, when you got to that end, it was like, huh?
Yeah. 13-year-old Ben was destroyed. It took me a long time. That's about the same time I found out that Santa Claus isn't real. It was horrifying.
No, he's right there on my screen.
Glenn, snay on the anti-snay. I think I got that. My pig Latin's a bit rusty. All right, so number are we number 4? Number 4.
We are back at number 4.
Number 4, the actual, the real number 4.
And my number 4 is Lake Mungo. So, haha, Sarah. Nah.
Great film.
Indeed, and for me, it's one of those great examples of a film playing with format. I mean, you go into that film, if you know nothing about it, you would be convinced that was a documentary. So well done. It's just, it's a masterpiece.
It's beautiful. Yeah, for sure. And it's one of the rare sort of examples of most people in the country it was made don't even know what it is. Like, you ask most people in Australia what Lake Mungo is, they have no idea.
Even the place?
Yeah.
Really?
It's just a film that I can talk about and no one really knows what the fuck I'm on about.
Oh, well, it's one of the scariest movies I've ever seen, I think. So definitely, if anyone listening, hasn't seen it, please go and watch that. Like, at least watch that, because you'll be scared. It's really scary.
Ben, did it even get distribution down here? Because I can't remember seeing it on DVD.
I don't think so. Like, no. It's had a weird history here with coming out. I should check the classification board and see if it's actually been classified, because I don't know.
It's like Young Einstein. It's this local film we had to go overseas to bloody purchase.
To get.
Because I was working on the Second Sight Blu-ray, which is how this whole project came together, actually. So, yeah, I got to learn a great deal about what went into making Lake Mungo. And it doesn't sound like a very fun experience for a lot of people.
The guy that played the Doctor in it, Steve Jodrell, he used to be a customer at my video store. There you go. There's your shot, Ben.
He's a filmmaker in his own right, isn't he?
Yeah, he made the one with Deborah Lee Furness. What was that one, Ben, back in the day? With Simone Buchanan. Can't remember the name of it now.
It's not Hate. What's it called? Not that one. That's not the one you the one.
Oh, mate, this is a crime against cinema, but you know the one I mean.
Yeah, it's like late
80s.
Is it? Yeah, it's late 80s. It's like a one-word title.
It could be Hate.
It's the rape movie.
Yeah.
I
can't for the life of me remember what it's called, but it's something like Scum or Hate. Although I'm naming British and French films.
I'm sorry I brought it up.
It's one of those. This is if you actually go back and listen to the podcast that Glenn and I do.
Shame.
It's 90%
Shame.
me going, is it Shame? That's it.
Yeah.
It's 90% me going, what was the name of that film? What's the, the one with the guy and the girl in it?
Yeah.
They do the thing together and then one of them dies. What's that one? It's horrifying.
Where are we up to, Ben?
Sarah, number 4.
I think I'd just be shameless and name a film that I just love. I think it's really like a good horror film, and that's an Australian film called The Loved Ones.
Oh, yeah.
You guys like that? Have you seen it? Because
Adore
honestly,
that one.
I love it, and I think the soundtrack's really fun, and but also, you know, it actually has this twist. I feel like it's a twist. I mean, maybe I'm just not very perceptive, but I'm not going to ruin it, obviously. But there's a bit in it halfway through where you just like, oh my god, did not see that coming.
Yeah.
And I just think it's so creepy.
Yeah, it's as if John Hughes had directed a torture porn.
Kind of, yeah. Good way of putting it. But yeah, I think like that's a really fun horror film if you just like want to see something really gross and make you cringe a lot.
That movie is it's always been in my bad books because when it came out, we were just releasing The Human Centipede. And they had a much bigger marketing budget than we did. And so everyone was talking about The Loved Ones being the most disturbing horror film ever. And you're like, but, like, ass to mouth. Our marketing consisted of me calling into film critic shows on the radio and going, so what do you think of The Human Centipede? That was our big marketing plan.
It was that reenactment at the Christmas party that had me, mate.
Yeah. It was Casual Work Friday. We had to. We all came in our finest nappies. It was fantastic.
Keep it on your Facebook, mate.
Yeah, sorry. A friend of mine actually animated himself. I don't know how he did. He got some visual artist to like a computer video artist guy to do. He took photos of himself in a nappy on all fours, like just heaving, and then the guy like put it all together. So he had like a human centipede of himself that he used to put on like. He used to send it
Merry Christmas
on his emails. It was amazing.
Wow, I want to know that guy.
Yeah. He's a really great guy. He's like a visual kind of artist, and he was in a band, but he used to do these super weird kind of video installations and stuff. He's totally
it's a good use of his talents.
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, 100%. Yeah. All right, so I think we're down to it now, right? Number 5.
Yeah, number 5 for me is a film that really inspired me and my first film, Cruel Summer, and that is The Great Ecstasy of Robert Carmichael, which is a low-budget British film that not many people have seen. But yeah, it's one of those horrible drama movies that get under your skin and turns out to be more horrific than 99% of most horror films.
I'm adding that one to my list.
Yeah, I haven't seen this one.
Yeah.
I haven't heard of it.
And yeah, Ben, Cruel Summer is out by you guys.
By Monster Pictures, that's right. It wasn't...
Go ahead and buy it.
Yeah, that's right. It was actually released by this, funnily enough, we released it for this guy, Michael Kratzer, who's a German film producer who lives in New Zealand, and he made Inbred and a bunch of other stuff, and he was the one who found Cruel Summer and was like, you guys have to release this.
Yeah. So he forced you.
He forced us to. Like, he forced us to watch it. He tied us up in the back of a van and forced us to watch it. And
that is the best way to see the film. So well done, Mike. Well done.
So, but that's right. It is available on the Monster Pictures website. You can go there right now and order it and check it out, because it's one of those with Michael Kratzer. It would be hit and miss. Like, sometimes he would send us these like there's one called Dead Sea, which is possibly the worst CGI made film of all time. Like, it is terrible. And then he would send us a film like Cruel Summer or like Chicago Rot, where you get to see a guy getting stabbed in the stomach with and then you get to see it from the inside of the stomach. So you get to see the knife go in, and like the guy's whole hand goes in, and he's rooting around the guy's guts and all.
Very Argento.
Yeah, it's all. And you get them like in the same month. You'd be like, I'm releasing these two, and you're like, okay. It was always fantastic. It was always fun. It was always fun to see what he was going to give us. Okay, Sarah, last one.
I think I'll wrap it up with Cannibal Holocaust. I think that I was thinking more films that inspired the documentary and everything, but you can't go wrong with the Cannibal Holocaust. if you like video Nazis, if you like found footage, if you just like general horror and gore, watch Cannibal Holocaust.
Which cut do you watch? Which cut?
The worst one that exists.
The one with full turtle.
Yeah. Well, we're supposed to condemn that, but whatever, it's there. So just
it happened. It's a thing.
Yeah. I still like it. Obviously, it's bad. They shouldn't have done that. But still,
they do eat it, right? They do.
I can't remember.
They eat turtles on TikTok all the time, mate.
Yeah.
Do they? Is that what you're watching all the time on TikTok?
Yeah. Well, I'm hoping for the other turtle thing that Ben and I were talking about earlier, but I keep getting the real thing.
No.
Oh my goodness. Well, there's no doubt that found footage is a genre that will resonate hard with many of the viewers at Monster Fest this year. And the found footage phenomenon does screen at Monster Fest on December the 5th, if I've got that right, Ben.
Yes, Sunday, December 5th.
Awesome. So Sarah and Phil, just want to thank you so much for spending time with us today. It's been an absolute pleasure. Good luck with the film in general, and I can't wait to see it.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thanks for having us.